Let's get it on.
Real football heads, do me this favor. Respond to what I present, not necessarily what you think. Now listen, we're going to talk draft philosophy here. If you've been watching this channel for its duration, or even me before I even got on YouTube and I was working at certain websites, y'all know that I am severely against drafting first-round running backs. Not my deal, right? Now, whatever your own personal draft philosophy is, that's yours. You're on my channel, listen to me talk football, and that is something that I don't like. So if you know I don't like first-round running backs, you know I would hate a top 10 running back with a passion. No, I can't do it. Especially when you have someone like ESPN's Todd McShay talking about my Philadelphia Eagles drafting Bijan Robinson with the number 10 overall pick.
First of all, these are the decisions that we would make, Mel and I would make, not necessarily what Howie Roseman, the GM for the Eagles, would make. So all you Eagles fans, you can relax. You don't have to scream at me that Bijan might not be the pick. He could be the pick, and that's who I would decide to take if I were Howie Roseman, because I think he's special. I think Bijan Robinson is different. I think he's as good, if not better, than Saquon Barkley was coming out, and Barkley was the number 2 pick.
See, that alone almost makes my point. You use my guy Saquon Barkley from my Penn State Nittany Lions, one of the greatest players ever at Penn State. What the hell difference has he made for the New York Giants? Not saying Saquon is not great, because he is. It's just that it is not a valuable position as far as changing a franchise like a line of scrimmage player is. You don't use top 10 picks on running backs, people. Those are meant for premium positions. These are the positions: defensive tackle, edge, offensive tackle, quarterback. If you have an elite premium cornerback, I would draft that position in the top 10. I'm not drafting running backs in the top 10. Not really trying to draft them in the first round. Off-ball linebackers, hell to the no. Most off-ball linebackers and running backs in the NFL who are of value or who are balling out have been second-round picks and beyond. Not saying there aren't first-round running backs who are very good. Not saying there aren't first-round off-ball linebackers who are very good. That doesn't matter. It's value. If you can get someone at a premium position and then go back and double up and get your running back in the second or third round or whatever like that, and have that running back or off-ball linebacker perform like a first-round draft pick, that's how you build an incredible team. That's what the Philadelphia Eagles are normally known for. So he had that right. It could very well be the pick. That has nothing to do. You'll never, ever see me hop on here. This is why I don't do good with draft coverage. I don't do mock drafts. If you ever notice that, I don't do them. I don't know what a team will draft. I don't work for those teams, right? It's just guessing. I will tell you who that team should draft from just knowing those teams or watching those teams and seeing the holes that they have. I'll do something like that, but I'll have to go with my draft philosophy on things because I don't know what a team will draft. The Philadelphia Eagles with Bijan Robinson at running back, I'm pretty sure it will be good. I'm not saying he's not a great player. I question if he will be better than all these other running backs in this draft. This is a deep running back draft. I question if he'll be that much better than Zach Evans. As a matter of fact, when has he ever really been better than Zach Evans? We'll get to that a little bit later here.
And to me, you look at it, this past year, rushing for 1,580 yards with 18 touchdowns behind an offensive line, this doesn't get talked about a lot. An offensive line that had 3 true freshmen on it is remarkable. 45 catches. You see that catch out? He was out of the slot going down the field. 45 catches in the last 2 years. This guy can do it all. He can work in the backfield. He can run inside, outside, create. And he had 91 forced missed tackles. So you instantly upgrade your offense. And to me, now you got Jalen Hurts locked up.
Yep.
You've got this offense around, the weapons that they have on the outside. Now you bring in an elite running back with the run game and the opportunities you have with Jalen Hurts, too, in that backfield. That could be special.
Man, I can't stand Todd McShay. I don't like nothing about the dude, be honest with you, right? Even this dumb shit right here. So he goes on to say 1,500 yards, missed tackles and all this and that. Listen, stop being a fan. If you're in the business, you got to give it to the people with what's real. That's why I feel like people can respect what I'm saying, because they know I'm going to give what's real. I don't give a damn what people think about football. I don't give a damn what people think about me. I'm trying to get this analysis off how I want to give it. Who gives a damn about all that? It's the Big 12. It's one of the worst. It's the worst defensive conference in the country. Making all those guys miss in the Big 12, that shit don't impress me. Not saying that he does not have the talent. Obviously, he's a very talented running back. There's no doubt about that, though. But he's being judged off of poor defensive competition. That does not impress me at all, right? I'm not impressed by anything but doing it against light competition. There are no Big 12 defenses in the NFL. The worst defense you can think of is still chocked full of NFL personnel. Who cares? You making people miss, right? Who'll be working at the burrito factory of tire rotation specialists? You can get a burrito while you get your oil changed. Like, that type of shit don't impress me, bro. We got to go by competition. You remember him against Alabama? He had a tough day up in that joint, right? He couldn't really run it between the pipes. And then when he's trying to bounce everything, right, they had the speed to run him down. It's just way different going against better competition on a week in and week out basis. All right, check this out, right? 6.1 yards per tote, that's dope. 18 touchdowns, nearly 1,600 yards, 258 attempts in 2023. That's bananas. That's not how the NFL works. That's why, to me, running backs are devalued. You're not going to run your cash cow running back 50 million times in a year. It's going to be rare these days. That's why guys like Ezekiel Elliott and Derrick Henry are either cut or on the trading block, because you can see the wear and tear on the body. Most teams are going to run. You're going to have a specialist guy, right? Third down guy. You're going to have your first and second down guy. Maybe he can do some third down. You're going to have this guy who can flip this style. You're going to have multiple running backs to keep the tread off the tires here. But if you look at the best defenses that he faced, you would say obviously Alabama would be that. He had 21 attempts for 57 yards, 2.7 yards per tote. Right, he had a dope catch, no doubt about that. He showed he can contribute different ways. Guess what? There's plenty of backs out there that can do that. This shit has Sean Tucker in it, Israel Abanikanda in it, right? It has Zach Charbonnet in it. It has Jahmyr Gibbs is in this. Tank Bigsby. This draft is loaded, and Zach Evans, of course. Now, if we look at this right here, who else would you say? You're going to naturally point to guys like Kansas State and TCU, right? He killed Kansas State. Guess what? Everybody's killing Kansas State. Alabama played them in the bowl game. That shit was nothing. Kansas State does not have it like that on defense, man. That's who you're piling up your yards against, and other people are being judged from facing like Georgia and teams like this. Look at TCU, right? People said TCU had a dope defense. Georgia ran all over it. There's much better competition when you're facing Georgia. He had 12 attempts for 29 yards, 2.4 yards. So those are the top two defenses that he saw, TCU and Alabama, and look how different that looks, right? 2.4 yards per carry against TCU, 2.7 against Alabama. Now, obviously, if he were a Philadelphia Eagle, it would be a lot better there, but can't you find somebody else that you think could do this as well? Look at this cat right here, right? If you come from a background of covering high school football like I do, you remember these guys going kind of neck and neck, and Zach Evans was the guy. At one particular point in time, he was the number one recruit in the country for this 2020 football cycle. Right, if you can see, right, a lot of the big names in the draft from the 2020, Brian Brzee, Bryce Young. You have guys like Miles Murphy here, Paris Johnson, Broad Jones, Dravon Dexter, Noah Sewell, all these guys. Look at this. 15th, Bijan Robinson. 16th, Zach Evans. Both were five-star running backs. Zach Evans didn't do anything to discredit himself in college, I'll tell you that. He played at the same Big 12 conference and then played his last season in the SEC West, the best division in all of college football. This is what I like to see from a running back in 2023. Not a lot of totes on the frame entering the league. A 3-year running back. So you're right here, right? The stats won't pop out at you from the totals. This should pop out at you, right? He averaged 7.7 yards per attempt on 54 totes in 9 games played as a freshman. He played 6 games as a sophomore here and was still averaging 7 yards per tote. He transfers to Ole Miss, and in 12 games, he still averaged 6.5 yards per carry on 144 totes. So pretty much combined both the totes that he had in his first 2 years, he had that in one season in the best conference where there are nothing but dope-ass defensive players, especially in that division of the SEC West, and he still averaged over 6.5 yards per carry with 9 rushing touchdowns. What are we doing here? Look at Bijan Robinson here, right? This is a lot of totes, right? In his first year with the 8.6 yards per attempt, 8.6 yards per average, 8.2 yards per average, that man had 86 totes, and then it jumped to 195, and he went for 5.8, and then this last year, the 258, he averaged 6.1 yards per. Average that out. If you were to put Zach Evans in the same situation, give him that many totes, you would have the same exact results, maybe if not a little bit more. I think Zach Evans may actually be a tad bit faster, right? It's negligible, though. I would say they're very comparable. They've been very comparable their entire careers, except one, someone's talking about going in the top 10 of a draft, and the other cat could possibly go in the second or third round. Where's the value? Where's the better value at? All right, so let's look at this, right? The top rushers in the NFL. And let's go by who was a first-round draft pick, top 10 pick, all that, right? Josh Jacobs, the leading rusher, right? He finally had a very good year. Josh Jacobs is a very good running back, but I don't believe they extended him, right? This was a one of those years where it was a do or die year and he came through. But what did it mean for his team? His team still sucked. It's not a position that's going to just change something for you there. Derrick Henry, been one of the best backs for years, and you see him right now. He's a second-round pick. Definitely gave you some really good value there if you picked him in the second round like the Titans did. Same deal with Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, probably the best back in the league, second-round pick. Saquon Barkley, as you said before, was the number 2 overall pick. The Giants did pretty good this year. Saquon's been hurt. They've had some lean years with Saquon. They definitely could have drafted someone else over Saquon and would have been just fine. My boy Miles Sanders, right, came right after Saquon at Penn State. Look at that. He's contributing like Saquon. He was a second-round pick. The Eagles still let him go. Second-round pick, they let him go, and he's with the Carolina Panthers now. Dalvin Cook, one of the best backs, second-round pick. Justin Fields, not even a running back. He's in the top 10 in rushing there, and his team sucked. Christian McCaffrey traded. Top 10 pick, he was traded. And he's with the 49ers. They did very well with him. But if you know the 49ers, they're not trying to draft first-round running backs. They have a complete system where they can bring people in 6th, 7th round undrafted free agents, have them perform like first-round picks. Travis Etienne, first-round pick, did pretty good. His team did pretty good. They're about the line of scrimmage over there, and you know how they get down with Jacksonville and Coach Peterson. Aaron Jones, obviously, and Travis Etienne wasn't a first-round pick by Doug Peterson. He was by Urban Meyer. Aaron Jones, I'm not sure what round he was in. He may have been a 3rd or 4th round draft pick or something like that. Aaron Jones, been one of the best backs. So you can see there, it's a mix of people. Didn't even belong that, right? Jamal Williams definitely wasn't a first-round pick. Kenneth Walker was a second-round pick. Ramondre Stevenson, I think, a 4th or 5th round pick. Tyler Algier, I believe, is the 5th or 6th round pick. Najee Harris, look at this guy, right? He has bust written all over him. This is when I first did one of these, was on Najee Harris, and people were telling me he was a generational back. The guy averages under 4 yards per carry for the first couple of years of his career. He is not changing a damn thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They could have gotten somebody much better than him at a premium position and followed that up with somebody else in the draft at the running back position who would have been better off. Tony Pollard essentially got Ezekiel Elliott up out of Dallas, and he was definitely not a first-round pick. Dameon Pierce, not a first-round pick. Austin Eckler, Dante Foreman. Camaro's like a 4th-round pick. Most are undrafted. You can see on and on and on. You don't have to have a first-round pick at running back. These guys are not. Bijan Robinson is dope. He's not any more special than Derrick Henry or Nick Chubb or Saquon and all these guys like that. The running back position is just too cut and dry. He's not going to change the game. Now, people could say from the Eagles standpoint, we pretty much have a complete team, but I don't think it's that complete to where you can disregard the line of scrimmage. I'm sorry. You're going to get value from somebody beyond the first round at the running back position, and you can use that 10th pick on somebody on the line of scrimmage. All right, look at the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs right here, right? Let this be a lesson. Andy Reid used to be the GM here in Philly, right? He did not do first-round running backs. Not at all, right? We had the great LaShawn McCoy, not a first-round draft pick. Brian Westbrook, one of the greatest players in franchise history, not a first-round running back. He goes out and gets Clyde Edwards-Helaire right here a few drafts ago, right? First-round running back. It's been pretty disappointing if you ask me, right? 4.3 yards per carry, 10 games, but injury-prone. He gets I want to say Isaiah Pacheco here. It was a rookie, like a 7th-round pick. He ends up being the star of the team at the running back position, right? Led the league, led the team in carries, led the team in yards, everything of the sort. Was a big part of the Super Bowl, of the playoff run in general. Really changed the shape of their offense, given a physical element there. I believe Clyde Edwards-Helaire ended up being like a healthy scratch in the playoffs while this man was shining as a 7th-round pick or whatever he was. Come on, man. Just say no, obviously, to top 10 running backs. And if you have to have a first-round running back, let it be in the 30s or something like that. All right, it's your boy Mid-Atlantic Murf, man. Let me know what you think about that particular draft philosophy if you see where I'm going with this, all right? Salute.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.